The film starts with a man named Lasmana, who one day invites a priestess to his house. The priestess goes to the basement of the house with Lasmana and starts doing black magic there, for which she kept a goat's head in front of her. All this was being done at the behest of Lasmana, because she wanted to be rich. The priestess tells her that bring me what I had ordered from you. Then Lasmana takes out a woman's hair and some money from her bag and gives it to her. Then she wraps those hair in a paper and eats it herself. While breaking her hair, she feeds it to Lasmana. Then she burns the money in front of Lasmana and puts a knife cut on her hand, which was part of the black magic. But because of Lasmana's pain, the priestess doesn't feel bad and turns her face to the other side. While behind her, the priestess starts flying in the air. Now when Lasmana turns and looks at her, seeing the priestess in this condition, she was shocked, and now she was convinced of the priestess's magical powers. She sat on her knees and said, "From today, I am your slave." She meant to say that it started raining money in her room. Also, Lasmana's briefcase also started burning with money. Seeing this, there was no place for her happiness. Not only this, but the goat's head was also standing here alive. Looking at it, we understand that this goat is actually the devil, to whom Lasmana gave a life, and in return, the devil took the money. Then the priestess also tells her that the devil has accepted your sacrifice, so now you go home, wherever wealth and fame are waiting for you. As soon as Lasmana goes out of the basement, the door immediately closes. Now Lasmana really gets so much success that she becomes rich overnight, but her wife dies. Everyone thinks that her wife killed, but the real thing was that Lasmana sacrificed by giving her wife's hair, due to which her wife died, but she became rich. Now Lasmana also had 2 daughters. The eldest daughter's name was Alfie. After her wife's death, Lasmana marries an actress. She already had 3 children, 2 daughters and a son. Her eldest daughter's name is Maya. But then with the passage of time, suddenly something happened that Lasmana started to suffer losses in business. Her situation got so bad that she had to sell everything. Only one house is left that we saw at the beginning of the movie, and that house was in the name of Alfie. Now the story of the present is shown, where Lasmana's eldest daughter calls Alfie, and she is called to the hospital. Actually, Alfie was sad about her mom's death, and dad's second marriage, and for the past 10 years, she has been living alone. When she goes to the hospital, she finds out that Lasmana is very ill, and she is admitted to the hospital. After coming to the hospital, she meets her stepmother and stepsister. The nurse tells them that Lasmana has a skin disease. Also, her internal parts are getting worse. Lasmana's skin smelled very bad. That's why everyone goes out, and only Alfie stays with her inside. When she was sitting there, the light suddenly went off. Then Lasmana holds her hand, and we can also see a drowsy hand, which was of a drowsy woman, and she was coming out of the back of the curtain. She started walking towards Alfie, but suddenly the light went off. She sees that dad has been holding her hand for a long time, so she looks at the bed, where the same drowsy woman was actually holding her hand. She attacks Alfie, which makes her very nervous. But suddenly the light came on and everything became normal. Now suddenly Lasmana gets up from the bed and grabs Alfie. He was out of control. Now after hearing the noise, everyone else came inside. And Lasmana fell on her second daughter, that is on Maya's sister. And the blood that was coming out of her mouth all falls on Maya's sister. But Alfie gets very scared of all this. After a while, Alfie's stepmother comes to her and says that we have to go to the house that is in your name, because we want to sell that property. Now here we know that Alfie often sees her mother dying in her dreams. That is, she is not able to come out of the trauma of her death. Now the next day, Alfie goes to her house, which was quite far from the city in a jungle. The house had become quite old. Anyway, Alfie goes inside, and when she sees the door of the basement, apart from that lock, it was also tightly tied with nails so that it could not be opened. There were also some papers on it, on which something like a mantra was written and pictures were also made. After a while, Alfie's stepmother also comes here with her children. She also brought Alfie's younger sister with her. These people decide that we will find the documents of the house and some important things here. Then we will go back tomorrow. Now Alfie went to her room, where her stepbrother brought food for her, because he used to consider Alfie his sister and used to take care of her. When he went out, his sister Maya told him with a box of tools, "Take this, open the basement. Who knows if there is something important there?" When Alfie went to a room there, she found very strange things there, which are usually used in black magic. There she also gets her picture. After seeing which, she was surprised at how is this here? Now Maya removes all the papers on the door of the basement, and her brother also removes the nails and breaks the lock. And now as soon as she opens the door, a gust of wind touches everything from inside and passes by her. Then that gust of wind also reached near Lasmana in the hospital, and blood starts coming out of her mouth. That's when a bunch of hair started coming out of her mouth, which was very long. And as soon as it comes out, it grows so much that it wraps around her neck and face. Those hairs wrap around Lasmana's neck and she dies. Maya's mother also came to the door of the basement. When she went inside and saw, nothing was visible. Now her mother tells her son to go inside. But then Alfie also came here, who forbids her stepsister to go to the basement, and says that there is something wrong in this house, because I found things related to black magic in one room. But her stepmother does not believe anything she says. Suddenly, Alfie's sister sees someone in the basement. She got very scared. She tries to tell her mother, but she also scolds her. But the next moment, her mother felt something on her feet. When she looked down, 2 hands held her feet, which pulls her to the basement. Maya and her brother catch their mother. She started trying to get her out, but whatever was in the basement pulls her mother inside, and now there is a drowning sound from the darkness. All the children were very scared. Maya calls her mother. When her mother suddenly jumped out, she attacks Maya and catches her. Her mother's condition was very bad, because she was possessed by some evil force, and she was completely in her control. She bites Maya's arm. To save her, Alfie hits her head with a hammer, by which she fell unconscious there. After a while, Maya's mother regained consciousness, and she pulls out a hammer from her head, but she was still possessed. She climbed up the door in a strange way, climbed on the wall and sat down, and says in a drowning voice that the price of happiness has to be paid by giving life. After which she breaks the glass of the window and runs towards the forest. Maya's brother closes the door of the basement and puts the stuff in front, while Alfie ties Maya's arm. Alfie's sister had a strange black doll in her hand. She tells Alfie that she met me in a room. Then Alfie takes it from her. Maya's brother calls her out to the car and shows that the car's steering wheel has been cut, which no one else did. In fact, her mother cut it in a possessed condition. That means these people can't get out of here. They are badly trapped here. Alfie calls her stepbrother and tells him to call the police or someone who can help us, after which she leaves her brother with Maya so that he can go to the nearby village and can arrange some treatment for Maya, because Maya's condition is getting worse. It was also raining, and when these people were passing through the forest, they meet their mother, who was sitting in one place and doing strange things. Both of them got scared seeing her and hide immediately. Now Alfie comes to one place and tells Maya to stay here. Then she takes out a hammer from her bag and goes to see her mother. Maya takes out her diary from Alfie's bag and starts reading it, where Alfie had written bad things about his stepmother and siblings. That means this way Alfie had expressed his hatred against them, which Maya feels very bad. That's why after a while when Alfie came there, Maya's brother calls her out to the car and shows that the car's steering wheel has been cut, which no one else did. In fact, her mother cut it in a possessed condition. That means these people can't get out of here. They are badly trapped here. Alfie calls her stepbrother and tells him to call the police or someone who can help us, after which she leaves her brother with Maya so that he can go to the nearby village and can arrange some treatment for Maya, because Maya's condition is getting worse. It was also raining, and when these people were passing through the forest, they meet their mother, who was sitting in one place and doing strange things. Both of them got scared seeing her and hide immediately. Now Alfie comes to one place and tells Maya to stay here. Then she takes out a hammer from her bag and goes to see her mother. Maya takes out her diary from Alfie's bag and starts reading it, where Alfie had written bad things about his stepmother and siblings. That means this way Alfie had expressed his hatred, and Maya tells him in anger, "Stay away from me. I was the one who was thinking of you as my sympathizer. But what were you doing behind our back? I have seen everything in your diary." Now Alfie apologizes to him and tries to make him understand, but Maya was not ready to listen to him. That's why she leaves alone. Alfie goes behind him and tries to stop her. Maya, who had run away, she couldn't find her anywhere. That's why Alfie feels very bad, and helplessly he has to come home without Maya. Now Maya's brother calls his other sister, who couldn't come home with them for some reason. Maya's brother tells him everything and calls her home for help. After a while, Alfie also comes home. She tells her brother everything. Her brother is also sad. He says that you hate us so much and left Maya alone. Alfie says that as soon as morning comes, I will go to find her. Then which Maya feels very bad. That's why after a while when Alfie came there, in which there were drowning women's paintings, Alfie says that I saw this woman in the hospital, and she also scared me by holding my hand, and after seeing some more symbols made there. She says that all these symbols are the same, which were put on the door of the basement. On those papers, it is possible that these symbols were put inside the basement to stop a drowning thing from coming out. Now, after reading the book, she came to know that all the drowning women she saw, they are actually dark priestess, which means they have bad powers and do black magic because they worship the devil as their god. And the powers they have, they are also given by the devil. Now, after seeing some more things, she understands that all this is done by our father Lesmana so that she can become rich. When Maya was moving ahead in the jungle, she met her mother in a very bad condition. Her tongue had come out, who suddenly attacks Maya. When Maya saves her, she kills her. When Alfie's sister was sleeping, she hears her mother's voice from the cupboard behind her, who was calling her. The child gets scared and runs away. When she went to check the cupboard, there was no one there. She again comes and lies on the bed. But still we see the same drowning woman. That is the priestess, where suddenly the child's bed starts to shake violently, and that same drowning voice tells her that you are my daughter. And on this the child says, no, you can't be my mother. Suddenly everything became normal. When the child goes down and looks, there is no one there. But now as soon as she gets up, that drowning priestess comes on her back. Seeing her, the child screams. Hearing the voice, Alfie and his brother quickly go there. The priestess also attacks them. She was dragging her younger sister. Then they both save their sister with great difficulty. And now the priestess, leaving her, catches Alfie. But as soon as her brother pulls the bed, the priestess runs away from there. Then Alfie fainted, and she starts to think about that time when her mother was dead. Then she was with him. At that time, Alfie's mother was putting him to sleep, but suddenly some evil force pushed him down from the building. Seeing this, Alfie immediately caught his mother. She was trying to save him. But then the witch priestess comes there and drops his mother and kills her, saving his mother. The priestess had caught Alfie's arm. Then the witch priestess had caught Alfie's arm, which was still there. Now it was morning, and her sister had also come here. But in the middle of the jungle, her car stopped. Then Maya came to her, who was in a strange condition. She tells her sister, "Come with me, I will take you home." But her sister sees through the glass that Maya has hidden a hammer behind her. Seeing this, she felt strange, but she asks Maya, "Why did you hold this hammer?" After hearing this, Maya got angry, and she broke the door of the car with a hammer and came inside. She attacks her sister with a hammer and kills her, with which we understand that Maya is also not in her senses. She is also possessed. She comes home again and sees that Alfie's condition is bad. Again and again, the witch priestess's drowning voice is calling her, and we can also see the devil near her. Then Maya sees the shadow of the witch priestess in the basement. That's why she comes to the basement. In the basement, Maya finds a necklace made of 5 puppets. These are the puppets that she had given birth to, and they belong to her family. Once again, she started calling the priestess. Maya asks, "Who are you?" She says, "I am your mother. Your siblings have chosen me. So now you too come to my slavery, my child." After hearing this, Maya bows her head, and we see the drowning priestess sitting behind. In the morning, Alfie regains consciousness. When she comes down, she sees her mother playing the piano. That's why she goes and sits with her. But this was not her mother. In fact, it was the same priestess. She holds Alfie's hand and injures him. Alfie starts screaming badly, and the priestess starts tearing her face in front of her. She is too lazy to see this, so she puts her hand on her eyes. But the priestess was taking out all her skin and scaring her. But the next moment, Maya comes there and takes care of Alfie. And we see that Maya is absolutely safe. Anyway, now these siblings were sitting together, and Alfie's arm was getting worse, which the priestess had caught. Alfie tells her brother, "Look, this is the condition of my arm, and my younger sister too, since she has caught that black doll in her hand. Her hand is also getting strange." Now Alfie tells her brother, "Do you remember? What did your mother say? That the price of happiness always has to be paid by giving life. And the drowning priestess we see again and again. She had killed my mother." And we see the drowning priestess sitting behind. In the morning, Alfie regains consciousness. When she comes down, she sees her mother playing the piano. That's why she goes and sits with her. But this was not her mother. In fact, it was the same priestess. She holds Alfie's hand and injures him. Alfie starts screaming badly, and the priestess starts tearing her face in front of her. She is too lazy to see this, so she puts her hand on her eyes. But the priestess was taking out all her skin and scaring her. But the next moment, Maya comes there and takes care of Alfie. And we see that Maya is absolutely safe. Anyway, now these siblings were sitting together, and Alfie's arm was getting worse, which the priestess had caught. Alfie tells her brother, "Look, this is the condition of my arm, and my younger sister too, since she has caught that black doll in her hand. Her hand is also getting strange." Now Alfie tells her brother, "Do you remember when Dad had sacrificed her for money? And now she is also in your mother. She will never let us get out of here. Come on, get up. We have to run away from here right now." But suddenly Maya says strangely that he will never let you go from here. Maya's brother got angry hearing this. He catches Maya and says, Who will not let you go? After all, whom are you talking about?" Now Maya does not give any answer. In fact, she starts laughing loudly. And as soon as this happens, the music started playing on its own. Things also start flying from here and there, and all the doors to get out of the house close. But Maya again says the same thing, that he will not let you go from here. Then the same drowning priestess comes out of the window. Maya's brother goes to find her. Because Maya got angry, he comes to a room upstairs and sees that Maya is crying by hitting her. What did your mother say? That the price of happiness always has to be paid by giving life. And the drowning priestess we see again and again. She had killed my mother. Seeing him, he runs away in fear. But wherever he was going, the drowning priestess used to come in front of him. And he comes to a room with great difficulty, close the door, and sees that Maya is sitting behind him. She tells her brother that he wants to get Alfie and his sister. That is, he wants to take their sacrifice. At this time, Maya had her brother's statue in her hand, which he took from the garland. She says that in that jungle, he killed our mother and other sister, and now he is sitting behind the door, waiting for us. Now as soon as the door opened, we see that he was the devil there. Maya says this is the right time to sacrifice Alfie and his sister to the devil, so that the devil gets both their lives, and the curse on Lakshmana is over. Because Alfie and his sister were the children of Lakshmana's first wife, so his mother died. After which, after the sacrifice of Alfie and his sister, everything will be fine, and we will become the slaves of the devil, with which we will be very powerful. But his brother did not want to sacrifice Alfie and his sister, and did not want to be the slaves of the devil, for which he clearly refuses, because of which he got angry. Now Maya had her brother's statue in her hand, whose hand she breaks. As soon as the statue's hand broke, his brother's hand also broke. But he saved his life and started running. But then Maya breaks the statue's leg, due to which his brother's leg also broke, and he falls down the stairs. In front of him was Alfie and his sister. And now Maya breaks the statue's head in front of them and separates it. As soon as this happens, his brother's head also separates from his body, and suddenly he dies. Seeing this, both the sisters are very scared. And now Maya picks up Alfie's sister's statue. As soon as this happens, some force pulls her into the basement. Then Maya picks up Alfie's statue and puts it on the ground. As soon as this happens, Alfie vomits. And now as Maya starts throwing the statue from top to bottom, in the same way Alfie also starts jumping, due to which he fainted. After a while, when Alfie regained consciousness, he found himself in the basement, where he was shown his past in front of him. When the priestess was doing ritual magic after the death of Alfie's mother, then Lakshmana came here again. The priestess asks her, "What I asked you to bring? Did you bring it?" Lakshmana says, "No, I can't bring it, because she is my daughter, so I don't want anything to happen to Alfie." Actually, the priestess asked for Alfie's hair, because she was going to do magic on Alfie after his mother. She was also going to sacrifice it to the devil. The priestess says, "You can't do this. You have to fulfill the promise made to the devil." Then Lakshmana gives her the hair, but the priestess throws the hair into the fire in anger, because she knew that she had given someone else's hair. The priestess shouted at her that "You have betrayed me." And now Lakshmana picks up the knife and starts hitting the priestess. Before dying, the priestess picks up Lakshmana's hair, wraps it in paper and eats it. And here she curses Lakshmana, that soon you will lose everything of yours. Then Lakshmana ignored her and buried the priestess's body in the basement. After seeing all this, when Alfie turned around and looked, his sister was also conscious, where she had Maya, and she was holding Alfie's puppet in her hand. She starts chewing insects in the puppet, which started hurting Alfie. She started strangling the puppet. So Alfie's breath also started to stop. But she sees his puppet in Maya's neck. Seeing this, Alfie gets an idea. She starts laughing loudly. Maya got angry seeing this. She goes near Alfie and says, "What is there to laugh about?" Then she goes far away and starts breaking Alfie's puppet's legs. But just then, Alfie also starts teasing Maya by showing her the puppet, which she had stolen when Maya came near her. Seeing this, Maya got scared. Then Alfie threw her puppet into the fire. And here Maya is also killed by burning in the fire. Now Alfie takes out the priestess's dead body in the ground and tears her stomach, and takes out Lakshmana's hair from inside and throws it into the fire, so that this curse can end. As soon as this happens, Alfie recovers completely. But the priestess comes out from behind and pulls her into the grave, which was like a pit, which made Alfie unconscious. When she came to her senses, she was lying next to the priestess's body, and her whole body was wrapped in hair. Alfie cuts her hair with a knife and frees herself, but she can't get out of this pit. But then a hand came in, which came to help her. Alfie comes out holding that hand, which was not anyone else's but her sister's. Now the curse was completely over, so Alfie and her sister had no danger from anyone. They were both safe, and leave this house and go back. And this film also ends here.